It's crazy to think that we've gotten two animated robot movies that came out a week apart from one another and both are really good. Transformers 1 is terrific. Let me explain. Hi all, I'm the Grinning Critic and I love talking about movies with a grin. Luckily today though, I'm joined by someone else who also loves talking about movies with a grin. So who are you?
Hi, I'm Tentjumper. I do animations, and you may have seen me on an earlier Grinning Critic video, which was on Spider-Man 3.
So, the reason that I wanted to have a discussion with you is because me and you both have got very different experiences when it comes to Transformers. So, talk me through your experience with this franchise.
Well, I've seen most of the Transformers movies, aside from the most recent Rise of the Beast, and I also haven't seen Age of Extinction, but I definitely watched them. They were quite like a influential movie that I watched with big robots punching each other. It was so cool.
Now I'm someone who up till now has never seen a Transformers movie and has had absolutely no interest in Transformers whatsoever. So that really says something to this movie for actually getting me interested in Transformers. So, as a mega fan of Transformers, did you like this movie?
I thought it was great.
I, as a non-fan, also really enjoyed this movie. Now what do you think made this movie so great?
I think the key element is the animation style.
Oh yeah.
It looks just beautiful.
The choice of colours in this movie for each of the Transformers designs I thought was extremely clever. The use of lighting and the backgrounds were very well detailed. And there was a fantastic flashback scene that was done through these glitter-like things.
Oh, with the dust, yeah.
Yeah, I was so distracted by that. That looked so cool. I didn't really even care too much about what was happening with the story. The animation was just so good. I couldn't get over it. It is amazing.
I'd say my favourite scene in that animation style is when they're on the train and you see the sun.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's
a really good. I'd say that's probably one of the best shot of the movie.
Yeah.
But my favorite animation has got to be all that dust stuff. That was awesome.
Yeah.
From every other technical perspective, this movie rules. There was some really good sound effects. There was some really good music choices in some of the dramatic scenes to help enhance those scenes. So that was quite cool to see. But movies can be excellent technically, but be horrible story-wise. There are many movies that are just a wonder to look at, but their story's stuck. I'm looking at you, Rise of Skywalker and Fall of the Dark World. Anyway, do you think this movie had a good story?
I think the story was amazing. Unlike a lot of the Transformers movies before this one had a key character-driven story that actually made sense. A lot of the Transformers stuff just go, random sci-fi stuff, go. Whereas this one actually had some depth to it, I think you can agree.
Yeah, I cared about the characters.
I definitely feel especially the relationship between D16 and Orion Pax at the very beginning was with the race and everything, that was so well developed and everything.
Oh, that race was a really funny scene. This movie has quite a lot of good humour, and I was kind of surprised by how adult it was. That was something I was not expecting out of this movie.
Definitely some good comedy moments.
Yeah.
Especially that, I think this was in the trailer actually, when they're all looking at this thing and then suddenly B turns around and he's like, nope, and runs away. Yeah.
That scene was pretty funny, and you learn what actually causes that scene. That's executed in a really interesting way with some music that really swells to get you in the atmosphere. It's really engaging.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you think about the action scenes? Because a superhero movie is really only as good as its action scenes.
Well, definitely this movie does thrive in action scenes, whereas the original Transformers movies had big scale. This has very fluid action, I'd say. They're transforming from one thing to another, jumping and all sorts of different stuff. And it just looks epic, I think. Yeah.
Now let's talk about the bad in this movie, because this movie is not a perfect movie.
There's a twist that happens around the midpoint of this movie where you learn something about a character. And for the scenes after you learn about that twist, those scenes kind of feel like filler scenes.
I did feel like they did have some interesting and some funny jokes, but I can get what you mean. It kind of stagnated a little bit.
Yeah, it just wasn't that interesting. What was your issue you had with the movie?
Okay, so to talk about this, I do need to say spoilers.
And if you want to know what grade I gave the movie and you haven't seen the movie yet, skip to the following timestamp.
Okay, so D16, who becomes Megatron later in the movie, his character arc feels a little drastic. He starts off just being good bros of Optimus with Pax, and then suddenly it just he just slowly
becomes a villain.
Yeah, he just becomes a villain as soon as he figures out the main fake Prime guy is a villain.
And it comes across as really forced, which means that it doesn't really work.
I would say they probably should have done it in a different movie and kind of like led him down that path a little bit.
Yeah, but I feel like they should have just had it in this movie and just used the 15 dead minutes in this movie to actually develop his character a bit more and not make this villain stuff feel forced. The Chris Hemsworth voices of Ryan Pax also didn't really work for me, and there's a race scene at the start, and yes, that's an entertaining scene. It feels too inconsequential for what it is. In conclusion, this film is both entertaining and fun. It works for both fans and non-fans of this franchise.
All of the action scenes and the fluidity and just the great appeal of the movie, it really, in a similar way to like Spider-Verse and stuff, just really like puts it out there as like a new age of like animation.
But the movie isn't without its flaws either. If you're a fan of sci-fi and robot movies and animated movies, I encourage you to check the film out. I'm gonna give Transformers 1 a B+.
I'd probably give it an A-.
Thanks so much for watching, and I'm the Grinning Critic, and don't forget to subscribe to me. But it will keep me grinning more if you don't forget to subscribe to Tentjumper. He makes excellent videos.